Has anyone ever told you when you said you weren't feeling good? Has anyone ever told you you're not sick? Or if you grew up in the Christian Science church and religion, you might have said it, or you might have heard someone say it. Or if you have a friend or a family member who was born or raised in the Christian Science church and religion, then you've probably heard it. And it's based on a misconception of Mary Baker Eddy's teachings. The woman who discovered that we're spiritual beings and that what we see as matter is just our thought, the reflections of our thought. It's happening in consciousness. It's happening as a spiritual being, as we're seeing our thoughts. And what happened is we got confused and we thought that what we were seeing, the images that were our thoughts reflected back to us, was really us. And we fell into an identity crisis where we thought we were the body, the matter being, but we're really the spirit, the soul being behind the body, the invisible self, the higher self. We're really the soul with a capital S. And these were her teaching. This was what she discovered. And then in order to teach it, she realized that you can't just tell this truth to people. You had to teach them how to do something called self-examination, where they're learning to examine their thoughts and to see what they're taking in. Like, what about the world that we see around us did they accept as reality? What about the body and the personality that they see in the mirror? What about that did they accept as their reality? And then to listen about, you're really asking the soul, the higher self, where did I accept this error? And then you're letting those go as they come up. They come up through a process that's kind of a complete surrender to God or soul. And as you do that, the grip that the personality has on you, the belief of being a personality, a person, or a body, or living in a matter world, the grip that it has on you starts to lose its lessen and lessen and lessen over time as you continue to practice this. And as you do that, you're healed. You can, because in Mary Baker Eddy's teachings, the only reason that we see or are aware of illness or poverty or torture, rape, war, all the bad stuff in the world is because of this separation, this belief in separation, the belief that we're two beings instead of one, that we're the body, not the soul, that we're matter, not spirit. And because it's out of alignment with the truth, and when you're out of alignment with what is, with all that is, the real truth about who we are, we suffer. And so we come back in, as we come back into alignment, our suffering decreases and decreases and decreases. So we will see illnesses healed. We will see financial situations getting better. It happens on a microcosmic level, but because we're all one, another one of our teachings is because we're all one soul together, it happens macrocosmically also. It happens across the universe also as we're doing this individually. So what happened is, after she passed, the individual beings that believed they were, which is most of us, that believe they're the body, the personality, it's called the ego, or the small ego, or the little self. She called it mortal mind. She calls it mortal mind. And it took over the church and the religion and made them think that it's just about going after the healings. Let's go after the healings because that's really what we want anyways. Ignore the like process to get there, the self-examination. And mortal mind, the little self, came up with all kinds of different ways to keep us busy, like they studying like the teachings of today. If you take class from a teacher, you're going to learn the 7 synonyms, and you're going to learn so much about the 7 synonyms and how they apply to you. And what they are 7 ways to define us as soul, as an immortal, eternal, invincible soul. But it took off on all these different directions. So you have a lot of people, you have most of 99% of the people still in the religion and church walking around thinking about how to heal. Like they don't go to doctors, they don't take medicine, they don't do anything of that, which was supposed to be the result of doing the self-examination, that little by little you had less and less need of matter because you came into yourself as a spiritual being. But instead they jumped right in it. So they're just running around trying to heal everything. You calling for help for a cold, and someone to give you a treatment for a cold. And what these are like kind of mental gyrations about, you don't have a cold because colds aren't real, because you're not, because God doesn't have a cold. And so how could you? There's a lot of these mental gyrations going around, people trying to get healed and have healings and heal others using this like personality that they believe that they are. And so that it just is like they're chasing their tails. It's this endless cycle of chasing tails and not getting anywhere, not progressing. And that's why the movement is almost all but gone. There's a lot of Christian Scientists outside of the church and the religion, people that realized at some point in their life what was left in the church was just a lot of this and a lot of do's and don'ts. Like they thought, maybe to get healed, you have to be this, and this perfect. No drinking, no alcohol, no smoking, no premarital sex, no medicine, no doctors, no dentists, no ophthalmologists, no surgeries. The only thing that they talk about is you can have a bone set. But it's all misunderstanding. They started misunderstanding it as soon as Mrs. Mary Baker Eddy, we call her Mrs. Eddy, died in 1910. And it's because the mortal mind, just left to itself, thinks, oh, I'll figure this out on my own. And that's the problem. That's the problem to begin with. So if you've ever heard them say that, just know that they are lost in all these beliefs about what Mary Baker Eddy's teachings are, and that, they have good intentions. Most of them have good intentions. They really want to follow the healings, but a lot of them just want healing. They just want the final results. And, if they just want the final result, they should just go to a doctor because they're going to get the same result. But the problem is they don't believe in doctors. They're afraid of doctors. They won't get the help while they need it, while they're growing and learning, because they think that help will derail their progress. So I would say have a lot of compassion on them, but don't listen to their, know what it is that's happening with them, that they're just totally, it's a huge movement that has gone the wrong way 100 miles an hour, and they're all on board and they don't know that they got off track together. So it's like a joint thinking, joint mesmerism. Mrs. Mary Baker Eddy called it mesmerism. And it really is, it's a hypnotic state where they can't get out of it and they can't think of anything outside of it, and they can't see Christian Science in any way. But the way that the group is seeing it right now is this thing that we're supposed to heal every disease. And so disease isn't real. And of course it isn't real because it's only occurring because of our out of alignment. And truly, if you think about it, the soul, nothing has ever happened to you, the soul. You're still the same. It's just a part of you is mesmerized to believe you are this little personality, and that little personality needs all these things because they're ill and they're poor and they're sad or they're depressed, and all these terrible things that happen to us in this mortal existence are happening at the level of that little self that doesn't know any better. And its only chance, our only chances of waking up are looking to the soul, the higher self, and asking, please help us get out of this. Help me learn, uncover for me where I messed up and thought I was the mortal self, and that's like the whole gamut of opinions we have about the world. If you make an opinion about the world, then you're saying the world is real. Whether your opinion is like this group is better than this group, or this group is smarter than this group, or I know more than that group, or it goes down to the very little, the minutia of our lives is everything that we think we need to do. Our fears, our anxieties, our worries, our doubts, our depressions, everything is stemming and from this belief in separation. And there is so much that we have just picked up as this belief in separation has taken hold for millennia, really. And it's the reason we're all like kind of interested in this now is it's time for us all to wake up. And the path to waking up is to go within and do self-examination and ask soul, your true self, to reveal to you where you're believing that you are the false self.